Good morning, everybody. Well, it's been kind of a busy morning this morning. I ran some cameras. I just figured I could show you a video as I'm talking to you about it. We're still about 2 weeks off from putting the rams in with the ewes. But I had one of the thriller rams. The other day I noticed, I thought he was a little funny on one front foot. I'm not going to say he was limping, but I thought he acted just a little funny. I thought I don't really want to wait for 2 weeks when I'm going to bring him in. So I decided I'll bring him in this morning. So I ran all 7 in. It was a little bit hectic for a bit. They weren't too sure. They've only been across that way once. Sheep like going where they know where they're going. They don't like going if they're not too sure. But anyway, I got all 7 in. Now, what's going to happen in 2 weeks is we're going to take the 4 little ones, put them back in the ram pen. Then the 3 rams that are left will go with 3 groups of ewes. So I thought, well, I got them. We might as well split off the little ones. So once I got them back in the pen, I went ahead and just started grabbing little ones and pulling little ones out. I got those 4 all separated from the other 3. I went ahead and brought them back outside, and I stuck them back in their pen where they normally go. So they're over on the far side over here in the far pen. Then I kept the other 3 in, and my daughter came down to give me a hand. So we checked the front feet, and actually they just need a little trimming. The one that was walking a little funny, if we kind of, it rolled over a little on his hoof inside. So we trimmed a little on him. Figured, hey, once we got him, we might as well do some more trimming. So we trimmed all 3 of those that were in if they needed it. He was probably the worst. The other didn't need too much, but we had put a little trim on them too. While we had them there, I said there's one other thing I wanted to do, and that is I wanted to measure their horns, because I thought this gives me a good opportunity. I can measure their growth now, see what it is, and then maybe in February or so, this is October, so maybe in February, in 4 months, I can measure them again, or maybe a year from now I can measure them, but I figured now's my chance. So we took Stu, we worked on his feet, so he's the first one we measured. I think Stu is right at 6 months old, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure he's about 6 months, give or take a week. He measured out at 12¼ inches, and then we measured Long Shot. Now Long Shot is 8 months old, give or take a week. And he measured 13½. Now, is 13½ inches of horn length good at 8 months? I really don't know for sure, to be honest with you, but I got the measurement, so I'll know. And whether it's 2 months or 4 months or 6 months or a year from now we measure again, it'll just be kind of fun, I thought, to compare how fast are they growing. So we got that done, and we put them back out. So right now where we stand, let me get turned around a little bit, try not to get too much in the sun. Right now we've got the 4 small rams in the far pasture. The 3 big rams are right here in this pasture, and that's where they'll be for 2 weeks. Now, another thing I've been doing, let me show you on a feeders. My daughter had 2 big feeders, hay feeders she had bought from Tractor Supply. She was going to use them inside. She didn't like, they didn't work right. So I'm trying them. And I'm probably just going to go ahead and buy them from her. I think she paid like $100 a piece. And let me get over here where you can see a little bit. Now, there's your feeder down there, the big, they're plastic, the hay feeders. But normally, they go on this rack right here. This is where you normally have them. There was only 6 bolts that hold them in place. They were too tall. The sheep were having a problem. They were a little bit too tall. So I took them out. Now, underneath that rack, and I've got the same thing up here in the other one, a pair of 2x4s is what you'd use lengthways, and then I put some crossways 2x4s. They need to be about 60 inches long. I used 4 of them, screwed them together, and then basically I just screwed that down into it. You can see there's washers. I used big washers on there when I put the screws in so they won't pull it out. They come with a hole at each end. They weren't really draining that well, I noticed when I got them, so I drilled a few more holes in it to drain the water out. Now, while we're here, I redid this fence. This fence was some 2x6s and some of this, let me show you here, some of this small by 2x4 mesh I've got. I had 2x6s up here. I took it down. I've got a 16 foot, which is what this is, but I need to use it over here. So what I ended up doing, I took a 10-foot gate here and a 6-foot gate here. And I don't really need a gate there, but I want 6-foot opening. And I have a 10-foot here. Now the main reason I did this is so I can come in over the winter, and I can come in here when I go to feed to throw hay or grain, but this is my alleyway. Sorry, but I keep turning you towards the sun. This is my 6 or 8 foot wide alleyway, and what that's going to do is you're going to have your 4 little rams here. We're going to have a big ram with ewes over here. Probably, I think I'm going to probably put Stu down here maybe with 3 other rams, or 4 rams. He'll have 4, I think. Whatever. And they'll be over here. So I need this buffer zone so they won't try to fight through the fence. But the nice thing is with this gate here, I can open that up. I can walk in. I can throw their hay over. I can put grain. I don't necessarily have to go in the pen. And I can just leave the gate sit open while I'm throwing them hay. And I don't have to worry about a sheep trying to come through. So there we go. Close my gate back up. So that's why I set that up so I can go that route. Let's go over here real quick and show you how I'm setting up the other pen. We'll do that. I'm not quite done here yet. I got a little more to do, but I think maybe tomorrow, next day. All right. So we'll go through here. We'll go through the shed here. So what we got, we've had this opening like this. I'm using 1 tank for 2. And of course, I've always had this fence down the side here. So what I've done, this gate will be closed. There's a 6-foot here. And now I've got fence that matches the other side. This 16-foot gate will eventually come down here. And what I'm going to have is the exact same thing I got over there. I'm having 2 parallel fences about 6 feet apart. The rams won't fight through the fences that way. And in this situation, you could pound a steel post or something in, but right now I'm thinking February 1, I'm going to pull the rams. They're going in November 1. They can stay November, December, January. That's enough. 3 months is going to be enough. February 1, I want to pull them out. Well, at that point in time, I can take this whole fence down. This fence can come down if I want. So I didn't want to pound any posts in the ground because they'd be frozen. I wouldn't get them out. So I moved the old hay feeder over. I'm not using the hay feeder. It's there just to hold up the fence. The fence is tied to that. And here is the other. I said I had 2 of these. Here's the other one. I've been using this one right now for the ewes. So that's what they'll probably use. And I want to keep track. I've used this hay feeder. Now you can't, let me get turned around here. I'll show you. I've used this one. It's tough to use that with a ram because they get their horns in it, but you can with ewes. But there is a lot of hay waste underneath they don't pick up. I've been starting to give the ewes and the rams some alfalfa because on November 1st, I'm going to lock them in. No more pasture. They're going to stay in. So I want them to get used to the alfalfa. And I'm not getting that much waste on the ground. So I'm going to feed with this, and I don't know if we'll ever go back to that. This might keep the waste down a little bit. We'll see what happens. Anyway, we'll go with that. Oh, one other thing we should, whoops, get turned around, give you the sun problems again. One thing I do need to do over here yet, we'll kind of get, there we go, get inside. Now, the last thing is right here. This is going to be a common fence. It has to because I'm sharing water. So I've got some plywood. I will cover this with plywood, and this gate when I close, it'll cover it. And I'll probably come out 3 or 4 feet here with a piece of plywood, just screw it onto here and tie it on the fence. That way, where 2 rams could get right next to each other, they're not going to be able to see each other. So that's the last thing I need to do. Once that's done, then at the end, all I'm going to have to do, swing the gate over, put the other one down, close it up, and we're ready to go. So, thought I'd show you what we're getting ready on. Main things I also wanted to show you, bringing the rams in. We worked on trimming their feet, like I said, and they were fine. He was fine. I didn't see anything in his feet. We didn't see curled over a little under the toes, and trim that. Maybe there was nothing to it, but I feel better. We got him in, got to take a look at him and make sure everything's good. The other nice part is the rams are all now separated. So the little guys over there, they'll stay. I don't have to worry about them in 2 weeks. I can just bring the others in. And the little guys, we might start giving them a little more feed. We might start upping a little feed to them a little bit more, just because there isn't going to be any big around to take it away from them now. So we might as well give them a little, see if we can juice them up a little bit. But it's not that they need it, but hey, if I can give them a little more feed, we might as well give them a little more feed. So that's it. I got the rams taken care of. We're about ready for breeding. 10 days, 2 weeks, something like that. I don't know exactly the day we're going to do it, but it's up within the next, got to be 1st November, right around there somewhere. So otherwise, that's all I got for today. I guess maybe we'll just see it in another couple weeks.